2.
And now on the Chris Smith Show, the Entertainment Report with Jo Casamento.
Jo Casamento, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chris.
How are you?
Yeah, well. Sun's out?
Sun's out, yeah?
No.
Have you got over your cold?
I have. So
Good.
I'm already... Don't know if I can get the cozzy out. I'm starting a diet next week.
The cozzy's got to come out soon because we're starting to get into those mid-20 degree days.
I know, and nippers is all about to happen again, so...
Do you go to the nippers where you as a parent have to get into the water as well?
Oh, I have a terrible time with nippers. So Ali's quite involved, but it means one parent has to be involved, which means last year I actually had to, because I'm hopeless in the water. I can barely swim, so there's no chance of me saving anyone else. I think I'll need rescuing. So I was not allowed to be a water safety officer, but instead I had to become like one of those people on the beach that, hand out paddle pop sticks. Talking about paddle pop sticks.
Yes. Do you want a bionic bubblegum paddle pop? We've got plenty.
Oh, you know what? Is that the same as the rainbow?
No,
it's a bit confused listening. No, different to the rainbow?
Different to the rainbow. These ones are white and blue, light blue.
Oh, yeah, I'm having a flashback. I do like the rainbow. Anyway,
Yeah.
So I had to get my license and sit through hours of torturous paperwork and attend all these nippers carnivals so that my daughter can do nippers.
Oh.
There you are. But
Why haven't you been able to swim appropriately?
I think I was growing up one of 8. I don't know if it's having an English mother. We just never learnt to swim. Isn't that shocking?
It's bizarre in Australia.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't drive. Dad was always working. I don't know. But
And you live near the beach?
Live right near the beach, which is why I've been adamant that my kids learn to swim and learn to swim really well.
Yeah.
And they all can. So
Yeah, good.
I'm quite proud of that. Yeah.
All right. Now, a security scare at Prince George's school. I thought at the time when he was taken to school on that first day, I thought to myself, why is the royal family prepared to tell the entire population of the UK where Prince George goes to school?
Yes, it's an interesting one, isn't it, Chris? Because this new age royal family are very open and they have let the world in. And they did do that deal with the media whereby it was pretty much, we will give you the first day and give you access, and the cameras were in there. I mean, we even saw him. It's a very precious moment, isn't it, those first few moments? And looking at a picture now of that little boy with his little eyes holding his dad's hand. So we were, given this rare snapshot into such an intimate moment with the deal that the media then backs off.
Yeah.
So that's how this new age royal family works. And I think the media will respect that. But there are real concerns over the lack of security here. Local residents raised these concerns last week about security, saying, there was a woman who lives on the street who made the claims that, the wrought iron gate at the entrance were left open. She could stroll in without being questioned. And also that it does make it a terrorist target.
Without doubt.
Without a doubt. And I guess there is really no excuse for this security breach, I don't think. I've been very surprised, as you said. Perhaps it will be a wake-up call. I know that the previous security detail that looked after William and Harry when they attended Weatherby, which is a different school to where George is at, but he has come out and said that they used to arrive each morning with a specialist sniffer dog and search the school every day, their entire school lives. And only when they were satisfied the school was safe did he signal to the palace for the short drive that the kids were allowed in.
Yeah.
So he understands that this has similarly been done at this new school, at Thomas's at Battersea. But it does go to show that someone has breached this security, and mercifully there were no consequences in this instance. But changes in protecting George, I think, will have to be made.
Yeah.
It is scary that someone can walk in and out. And
he may even have to be taken to a whole new school.
Well, he was back at school. I thought that interesting. Only 24 hours later, after the 40-year-old was arrested, she was arrested on suspicion of attempted burglary, I believe, and the officers detained her quite calmly. But she's back at school already. He wasn't on the premises at the time, just to make it clear. He's still doing those half days. That first week of school, they only go to midday.
Yeah.
Little cutie.
They are little cuties. Anyway, all the very best to Prince George.
Hopefully they'll fix that situation. Yes, so maybe, I guess he's never going to be able to, you're always going to know where he attends school, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess
the
so.
media, and unless he's homeschooled.
And if you really wanted to know, you could find out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now,
So,
roll the tape.
I'm 81 years of age and have almost 1 billion citizens. I've been in office 62 years, making me the longest-serving monarch in history. Have we finished?
Abdul, you will travel to England, to the royal household. You will present the Queen with a ceremonial coin.
Whatever you do, you must not look at Her Majesty.
I'll see anything with Judi Dench in it.
Oh, and she's fantastic. Honestly, it seems crazy to say, but the woman just gets better with age. And in this one, she's playing, very old. She's playing Queen Victoria. She has played her before, if you remember. And this is the extraordinary true story of this. It's a gorgeous little postcard in time. It's the unexpected friendship that she had in her very last years before she died with a young Indian who travelled from India to participate in the Golden Jubilee celebration. And basically, she's bored, she's old, she can barely stay awake at the dinner table. She's so bored with life, I guess, by this stage. She's had a million children and she's lost a husband and she's lost a lover. And, anyway, she's kind of quite taken with this young servant. He's all decked out in his, gold cloths and everything, and he kisses her feet. And suddenly, he's teaching her his language and his religion, and she calls him the Munshi, and they have this gorgeous little relationship, much to the distress of everybody around them. Look, can I just say, that Judi Dench, she just sets a cracking pace. She forces the rest of the movie to keep up with her. She gives a delightful and a powerful, I guess, and I would say an unparalleled portrayal.
Good on her.
I'm calling an Oscar, early Oscar.
Early Oscar!
Yeah, I am. I'm making a big call there. I haven't read that elsewhere. But she has this quiet humour and this great tenderness to the role, and her face, it's just so magnificent in its every laugh line and every bit of etched emotion. It's just so powerful and beautiful.
There's a lot of Elizabeth in Judi Dench.
There absolutely is, and her accent is flawless. And more than that, there are a few interesting. It hasn't been given great, thumbs up by critics, but I really liked it. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon flick, beautifully presented. Just an insight into the palace. But just watching her and her portrayal, and also there's a really interesting because he is Muslim, his wife is Muslim. So in light of the recent Pauline Hanson burqa debates and everything, very interesting to see how someone dressed in that full garb was perceived back then, and she was very open-minded.
Yeah.
So, turn of the century, Queen Victoria, who would have known that she was very forward-thinking, very progressive, and obviously liked a little young man action as well. Which, when we think of Queen Victoria, we don't really think of that because we think of this, serious, austere woman dressed in black.
Yeah.
But she obviously had a nice little side to her and enjoyed her last few years, and good luck to her. Good luck to her, really, isn't it? So,
and was this doing publicity for this movie? Was this when Judi Dench says that she's looking for sex?
This is so. Judy's on the same page as Queen Victoria. I don't think that they've got a twinkle in their eye, should we say, Chris?
Oh, okay.
Very, very cute. And,
Okay, Choc Tops.
Choc Tops. I'm giving this one 3.5.
3.5. I thought you'd get a 4 out of this one.
Well,
Can you reconsider?
It's nice. It's a nice movie. I'm not going to, because 4's pretty, amazing. Like, you've got to get there.
Yeah, okay. 3.5 Choc Tops
3.5 is a delight.
for Victoria and Abdul.
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right, you get back to swimming lessons. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Jo Casamento with entertainment and a review on Victoria and Abdul. Anything, as I say, with Judi Dench has got to be well worth watching. 21 minutes after 2.